Welcome to Inside the Introvert. This podcast will have an introduction, Inside the Introvert section, a newsletter Introvert Dear section, and then some jokes and quotes. All the times are listed down below, so if you would like to skip around or listen to a certain thing, feel free to do so. I'm going to turn into the wind, so hopefully it won't be too bad. I got to pet a very pretty dog in my other podcast, so feel free to jump over to that to listen to it, and you should be able to see the picture in my image of this podcast. I've got lots of stories because I had a lot happen, so I'm actually only doing 2 of the newsletter stories this time and like 5 of my regular stories. So we're going to go on to the introverted stories, my introverted stories. It was finally about time that I get a haircut. Usually I get one every 2.5, 3 months, and I like to get it. I don't like getting haircuts, so I like to get it as short as possible, so that way I don't have to go back for a while. And usually I get my haircut whenever either on the back of my neck, when I look up or something, I can feel it all bunched up, or if I'm having to brush it around my ears or something like that. And when I went in, this is the same place I've been to the last three times, but every time I get someone new, and they were actually in a completely new location this time. And I went in and she started telling me the sizes of the razors. Never had anyone tell me the sizes of the razors before. I was like, I don't know. And she said, do you want a 1 or 2? Because I told her I wanted it as short as possible. I meant like cutting it short with scissors. I didn't expect use a razor. But anyways, I said, I didn't even know which one was shorter. And she said, well, 1 is shorter than 2. I said, well, let's do 2. Let's start out with 2. So she did the back of my neck, and I felt it, and I said, yeah, that's fine. And she said, do you want it long on top? And I said, no. The correct answer was yes. So she goes ahead and just uses the razor on top of my head, and she's kind of laughing and saying, bye-bye hair, because my hair is pretty long at this point. So it was a massive difference. And as soon as she did it, I was like, I don't think this is right. But I was like, maybe it'll be long enough on top of my head. No, it looked like I was being sent off to the military. My head was completely shaven. Like, you could see my scalp clearly. I was like, oh gosh. And I was in a state of shock at this point. And she asked me a couple questions, and I was just like, yeah, that's fine. And she's like, oh, you're just so easy. And I was like, I wanted to say, it's because I'm in shock right now. So that was great. And it also plays into one of my other stories, because I almost looked like I had joined like a cult or something like that. So I was kind of worried what other people were going to think. Oh, I need to come down here and take a picture. Oh yeah, I need to go to the waterfall too. Okay, so went to the end of the year party, which I had mentioned in the previous podcast that I was nervous about. Found the parking garage just fine, and we got there and, hey look, there's the dog again. We got there and actually found someone to sit by, the person I sat by last time, so that was kind of nice. I don't want to actually catch up to this guy again, because I've already had one interaction, and I feel like that was enough for me, so I'm going to sit down on this bench for just a second. We got up to get food shortly after we got there, because I had my girlfriend with me, and we had walked around and gotten food, but I couldn't find the table we were at, and the 2 people that I knew that were at the table had actually gotten up. And so we were just kind of like standing there awkwardly trying to figure out where we were sitting at, and we finally found it. I wonder if he's going to curve and come this way. It's weird because I passed him. Oh, okay. No, never mind, it's not weird. I just forgot what part of the trail I passed him on. But I finally saw the lady sit back down that I knew, and then it was like kind of hard to get back to the table, because all the tables, there's so many people that all the tables are pushed close together, and you can't get in between them very well. And we actually found out if we had gone to like the dance floor and come right by our table, it would have been way easier. But that wasn't too bad. I ended up winning Employee of the Year, and which out of 700 employees, there's a lot of other people out there that deserved it way more than I did. It was completely unexpected, but I thought, like, we have Employee of the Quarter, and in previous years, one of those 4 people are the only ones that can win Employee of the Year. So when they started doing the announcement for Employee of the Year, I kept chanting someone's name in my head because I was hoping she would win, because she was one of the Employee of the Quarters, and she's a hiker like me and really cool person. And they started reading like a description about the employee, and I can usually tell based on descriptions if it's me or not, because I hate winning stuff like that and being recognized. So anytime it's like on our team or something like that, they start giving a description. I'm like, well, that's not me, luckily. And so they started reading it, and it was like talking about using your personal or using your skills, not for monetary gain, but just to help people out. And I was like, crap. And usually when they would do Employee of the Year, it would be like, brings in tons of money, and that's not me. Like, my job role is very insignificant at this place. Like, you could automate my job role very easily. I just don't do, like, essentially, I do all the crap, all the basic crap, so the people that actually know, like, can get on the phone and contact the insurance companies and stuff like that. That way they don't have to mess with it. So I like get the easy stuff out of the way for the people that know how to do the harder stuff. So I don't really contribute all that much to this job. And but yeah, they started reading that. I was like, surely not. That can't even be a possibility. And then they said my name. I was just like in shock. And I stood up and just kind of walked up to the stage where she was, and they had like a big plaque. And I kind of spun around and waved at everybody, and it's like, great. And I was like, I hate having to stand up here in front of like probably 800 people there, because we've got 700, and then not everyone comes, but a lot of people bring their spouses. So yeah, I ended up accepting that. I did get a very large bonus, so that was awesome. It came in a well-placed time, because I had something very expensive that I needed to buy, and I also had a cruise later this year that I can't remember if I've mentioned it in the podcast, but my friend kind of roped me into it, and I've been trying to earn extra money and save up for it, and I was still only about halfway saved for that thing. So that's completely paid off now. So definitely, like, I was glad to get the money, but the actual title of Employee of the Year, or the award, I feel like could have gone to a lot of other people. But maybe it's part of being an introvert, but I'm very bad at feeling like I deserve anything, or accepting thanks or compliments. I'm sure I've mentioned it before, but not good at doing that. So later on in the night, this drunk girl came over, and apparently she was the wife or girlfriend of our CFO, and I didn't know that, which I guess they've been together for a while because she was at the previous party. But she was definitely drunk, and she must have been sitting at their table, and she mentioned how it looked like I wasn't having any fun because I wouldn't get up there and dance, which my girlfriend wanted me to get up there and dance. And I was waiting for a slower song, but we'd hit the portion of the night where it was all fast songs, so it didn't look like it was going to happen. And oops, I almost caught up to the guy. And so I was having plenty of fun just sitting there talking with my girlfriend. But the girl comes over and she goes, I know who you are. And she I thought she wanted to see my award. And so I kind of held it up, and she was like trying to take it away. So I held on to it and kind of stood up, and she was trying to pull me onto the dance floor. And this was just bad timing, because I've actually never danced before, like never had a dance with someone before. So I had told my girlfriend about that, and I said I'd like to have our first dance sometime here, but I needed a slow song. Hang on a second, take a picture. So I was immediately, can you hear it? I'm gonna take another picture, y'all. Okay. I was immediately angry because I was like, this girl's pulling me up there, so it's almost gonna be like my first dance. I was like, I'm not dancing. I'll get up there and just kind of like stand. I was like, I'm not dancing. I'm not counting this as my dance. And she kept like, she was trying to get me to hold the award up to like the beat of the music, but she was so drunk that she was way off from the beat. And she kept facing me towards where all of the higher ups were sitting, and I saw the VP that gave me the award walk by and kind of smile, and they knew that I was not enjoying that, and she just kept going. I was like, okay, I'm done, and she wouldn't let me go, and I finally turned and said, okay, enough. And like, I've got a look that can just, usually I can just tear people apart just by looking at them, and that didn't even faze her. So I was like, wow, she's so far gone. So I finally just grabbed onto it, turned around, pulled it out of her hands, and just started walking back to my seat. She still was trying to get me up there. I was like, I don't care what people think anymore. I've humored you. I'm tired of this. I'm going to sit back down. And of course, my girlfriend was kind of mad at first because this random girl drugged me onto the dancing area. But when I got back, she saw how pissed off I was. She's like, oh, okay, you apparently didn't even know her. I was like, nope, I've never seen her before. So that was a very annoying experience. I guess I can't remember if I said this in the first of it, but the other people sitting at the table knew I wouldn't enjoy something like that. So just kind of as a joke, whenever she started talking about me not having any fun, they were like, yeah, you should go get them up here and have some fun. So that was annoying. The last of my introverted stories, still at this party. Oh, okay, I mentioned my haircut, but I guess it doesn't play into this one. So it'll probably be in my introverted story next week. I'll be able to mention it. But so just remember for next week, I'll talk about my haircut again. Anyways, so we were just sitting there, and we'd been there for probably an hour and a half and maybe 2 hours. And my girlfriend was like, okay, I can't sit here any longer. We either need to get up and walk around or do something. And I said, okay. And she said, do you want to walk around in here, or do you want to walk around like in the hotel? Because this is a 9-floor hotel building, really nice. It's the Hilton type hotel by someone, I don't know. But anyways, it's a really big, nice hotel. So we go out of that, and I told her, I said I didn't really care. So I said, we can go ahead and just walk around. I was worried about, I didn't want to leave my award, because it was a big plaque. I didn't want to leave it on the table. And I also felt weird just like carrying it around, because it felt like I was like trying to walk around showing it off or something. And I was like, I'm kind of thinking about taking this back to the car and then coming back. And she said, well, we can just walk around outside the party. I said, all right. So we started walking around. We found the elevator. It was like a glass elevator. So we got to ride it up to the 9th floor. And we walked around the 9th floor just talking. And we got back by the elevators. And I agreed to dance with her up there. So we ended up having my first dance. I don't know if I'm sure she's danced with people. Because even in high school and stuff, I didn't go to any sort of like prom or any parties like that, nothing. Like I was completely fine staying at home playing video games all the time. But so we had the dance up there by the elevators, and she kind of taught me a few different steps and stuff, and it was really fun. I really enjoyed it, and it was kind of a romantic thing being just us up there. And someone else came up the elevators from the party, and he was definitely drunk, and what was it? He had a flask, and she mentioned that I didn't know what I don't remember what the word is now. Oh man, it's whatever they called bars back in the Prohibition days, because you weren't supposed to have alcohol, and they had like a certain name for it. Whatever it was, I had never heard it before, and so she mentioned that to him, And so he stands there and just starts talking to us, which luckily my girlfriend took like the brunt of the conversation, because I was like, I do not want to be here talking. But as long as she was handling most of the talking, that was fine. And his girlfriend or whatever, they actually had a room there up on the 9th floor, and she had gone back to the room. I guess he was supposed to be going back to the room to refill his flask, and because you're not supposed to bring alcohol into this place because they sell it, so they don't want people buying it cheap and bringing it in. So he stood there and talked for quite a while, and of course, like a common introvert, keep hearing something. Oh, I think it's birds. Like a common introvert, the entire time he's talking, in the back of my mind, I'm just thinking, please go away, please go away, please end the conversation. And he actually almost fell at one point, but he did have, it was Roaring 20s themed, so he did have some slicked shoes that he was wearing that he's probably not used to wearing. But his speech was quite clear that he was pretty wasted. And so he finally ends the conversation and goes back to the room, and then they come back and we're back to dancing, and his girlfriend, or whatever she was like, I kind of wish we were standing up here doing this instead of going back to the party. And they finally went back down, and we danced for a little while longer and decided we were ready to get out of there and head home. So it wasn't too bad, nothing compared to that annoying girl on the dance floor, but still not something that I enjoy, social interactions. But that's going to be it for my introverted stories. Go on to the newsletter stories. Apparently, studies showed that introverts are more likely to reveal details about themselves to their online friends, or online, that their friends and family may not know. Welcome to my podcast. I think I said in one of the first few episodes that I ever made that if anyone listens to the podcast, they probably know more about me than some of my definitely like work relations, but probably even some of my friends. So I don't know, it's something about just being able to talk to a camera that's way easier than being able to talk to a person. The second thing, some of the lies that an introvert might use, that's really a code word. I have to get up early instead of, saying I have to get up early, like tomorrow, instead of saying I'm ready to go. Introverts like myself don't like, once we've reached our social exhaustion for a party, like we'll reach a lot earlier than other people, so it's like we're ready to go. But instead of saying that, we'll try to think up some sort of easy way to put it, because we don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. Another one, I have other plans, instead of just saying I know I don't want to, because people can't handle just being told no a lot of times, so it's easier just to pretend you have other plans. And the last one is I missed your phone call, when really we saw it and we just don't want to answer. Introverts love texting versus talking over the phone. You wouldn't think it was a big deal, but it actually for some reason is. I hate talking over the phone, and I can just handle emails and texting so much easier, even though it's not, talking over the phone still isn't in person, it's just still don't like doing it. But that's gonna be it for the newsletter stories. Gonna go on to jokes and quotes. Dogs can't operate MRI machines, but cats can. Be nice to dentists, they have feelings too. Alright, quotes. Sometimes it's the people that no one imagines anything of who do the things no one can imagine. And this one was from a movie. I don't remember what movie it was, but it was a pretty good one. It was like a war movie where they were deciphering some sort of code. I might have to stop talking because I'm back to my parking lot and there's people that just arrived. But if she walks as fast as I am, nope, there's a passenger as well. And just a lot of times it's people that are kind of seen as outcast. And hang on, I'm going to stop for just a second until I get my car and then we'll finish. Oh, I'm gonna try to take a picture of this thing here. I should walk closer to it and take a picture. I'll go ahead and walk closer. Those people are gone now. So even if you feel like you're an outcast, a lot of times those are the people that do incredible things. So keep that in mind. The other quote, we delight in the beauty of the butterfly, but rarely admit the changes it has gone through to achieve that beauty. And I know that's a quote, but even for like real life, it happens all the time where we love the beautiful things people can achieve, but a lot of times we don't look at all the things they've gone through. And there's a really neat picture out there of an iceberg, and it shows success being the top of the iceberg, and then underneath the water, where the other 80% of the iceberg is, you've got failure, you've got continually having to try hard, anguish, all the stuff that they have to go through to get to that success. And sometimes you think, man, like, why has this person got so much money or something? And it's because a good portion of the time they've just worked incredibly hard. So just keep that in mind. Instead of trying to be jealous of somebody, appreciate what they probably had to go through to get what they have, and keep working on your own goals. So that's going to be it for this podcast. There's an introduction video out there, so feel free to listen or watch that. That way you get some more information about what my podcast is like. I'm on YouTube and SoundCloud, and also I've got an Instagram and Twitter, so feel free to contact me on that if you feel the need. Take care of yourself, because you're not alone out there.